Hey guys, this is Andrew, and this is part 4 of my sweep picking series. And today we're going to be focusing on 5-string sweeping shapes. And yep, so we'll just get right to it. The first one I'm going to base off of the same exact shapes we've been doing so far. So remember in the 3-string video we had this. 4-string video we had this. And the 5-string we're just adding another note. Actually adding another 2 notes to the arpeggio. So it was 10 on the E, 7 on the E, 10 on the B, 7 on the G, 9 on the D, and then the new addition is the 10 on the A to the 5 on the A. Then back up. And I'll get to the right hand. Now when you get to that low note, you can either pick all the notes or just pick some of the notes, or just pick the first one and do the rest legato. It's pretty much just up to personal preference, whatever you feel like doing. So the next shape is just going to be the same thing that we did the other ones, just now adding 5 instead of adding the 4th string. So we started here, the 12, and by the way this is A minor. Start of the 12, to the 8, to the 10, to the 9 on the G, to the 10 on the D, to the 12 on the A, which is the new addition, and the 7 on the A, which is another new addition. Alright, and then we're going to go to the same chord we did for last time for the diminished one. On the 8th fret of the E, 5th fret of the E, 7th fret of the E, 7th fret of the B, 8th fret of the G, 5th fret of the G, 7th fret on the D, 9 on the A, and if you'd like, you can add a 6 on the A. Just depends what you're doing. So you can either add that low note or you really don't have to. Now that I play it, I feel like I almost never add that low in there, but and that's the diminished shape. And just again, I'm basing all these off of the key of G major. You can transpose this to other keys. They're all movable pattern. You can move all of them anywhere you want. And yep, so that's it for the patterns themselves. And for this lesson's little master exercise to kind of combine everything together, I'm going to do the same exact one I've been doing so far. And remember before, we had an exercise that started down here. And it did this kind of skipping chords kind of thing going up the key. We're going to do the same thing, except I'm going to start on the G major at the 7th fret bass. It's hard to do all those stretches once you go down here. So here's the exercise. And I'll do that a little slower just so you can see. Try to get both hands in on this. There we go. Alright, I made some mistakes in there, but it's not the point. I'm just trying to show you this. So that is the exercise. It's basically, you're starting with G major, you're skipping up 2 chords to B minor, and you're going down 1 to A minor, you're going up 2 to C major, down 1 to B minor, up 2 D major, down 1 C major, up 2 to E minor, and then at the end I just kept hitting the wrong note there. The hardest part of the 5-string sweeps is probably just the big stretches at the bottom. So that's one thing to work on. Just to show you guys another example of how to play 5-string sweeps, what you can do is, instead of doing that pull-off, because that pull-off is quite hard, especially when you start moving down, the stretch gets really big and it's just, you know, gets harder and harder to handle. And so instead of doing that big stretch, you kind of just double pick the highest and the lowest notes. So you start off, pick, pull off, up, 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 down, 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 up, down, pull off. Alright, and to show you a more full-blown scale exercise to go with that, I'm just going to show you the same exact thing that we did for the other one, just with this new double picking thing. And to show you an example of a kind of scalar pattern that goes along with this, I'll just do the same exact thing I did before, but instead I'm going to do the double picking version instead of the legato low string version. And the goal is to get every note clean and as rhythmically on time as possible. When I play those low notes, the hardest part for me, which you may even be able to hear it yourself, is that when you get to the lower strings, with the whole double picking one, it's a little harder to get it to stay consistent. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're practicing, that you're going to want to work on keeping everything consistent tempo-wise. And when you're doing the legato-based ones, one thing to keep in mind and practice a little more is just to get these stretches under your fingers. And just pick whichever version of these you like and, you know, apply them to real music and figure out what the musicians are doing in these songs you're trying to cover. Because depending on what they're doing is going to depend on what you're going to want to do, because every guitarist is different and one method isn't necessarily better than the other. It's just how you apply what you know. Alright, so I'll see you in the next video, which will be 6-string sweeps. See ya.